Hey everybody, this is Kyle, aka Vulcan Wolverine. The Vulcan Wolverine. It is like it's like really late Wednesday morning or early Wednesday morning. And I just wanted to make a video kind of updating. Um and I went to a therapy appointment with my psychiatrist. So I wanted to say something useful up front before I start kind of bitching about my targeting, um, the way our societies run, people being cooked in their sleep, and then our country and other countries not talking about that. Before I get into that, I want to let you guys know, like I went to not this therapist appointment or not this psychiatrist appointment, but the one before. Um, I He gave me a really good idea. He's a really nice guy, and he's like their training psychiatrist that I go to. It's like a group where they're doing kind of I don't know what you call it. I guess they're practice psychiatry before they go into their own practices. So they are full psychiatrists, but they're in their I don't know what you call it. I don't know what you call it. But he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy, and I want to tell you all about the therapy appointment. I think I'm going to call this video "Therapy in the New World." It's weird because what we're going through is, no one accepts it, and even the DMV is writing new things to kind of cover the torture, to put it into a mentally ill basket. They're putting more stuff in there, so that's horrifying. But I did want to tell y'all about it. He's a nice guy. Remember, there's people in the system, and we can use that. Targeted individuals can use that, or suffer survivors of Havana syndrome. I would just call it survivors of transhumanism because there's so many angles in this transhuman experimentation. Um, what words can I say? Because I kind of want to put this on YouTube, but biometrics, experimentation with microwaves, 5G, dual use 5G, and then also other bio things that are being experimented on the public. But let me say this first. I am kind of tired. I'm doing better. The this one, the biometric in the center of my esophagus, it's huge. Like the magnet's not killing it, but it's like they've been torturing me with this thing. Not It wasn't the surgery where the guy put the leads in me. I think I got this one in the esophagus put in when I was at Ochsner. So they've been torturing me with this thing. I mean, doing stuff since I was like 12, but really started the trauma-based mind control like in the year 2000, and then 2011 the overt Zerset song started. So they've been torturing me like physically and really bad torture me with this thing for like 22 years. So affecting it with the magnet has just changed everything, and it's made me a lot calmer. And I thought about this the wrong way, but like the whole time it was happening, I was tricked and psyoped and stuff like that when they were doing it a different way. Um, so I'm kind of trying to figure out how they were. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling better and still fighting. They are still able to mess with my mind, mess with my memory. As a matter of fact, because I'm making a couple of videos, they do the EDOM electronic dissolution of memory a lot more in preparation for these videos. But that's okay. Like if I'm taking my medication, like I do take Neurontin and lorazepam, and like I'll take a Neurontin, and then I'll it'll be like a minute and I'll go, did I take my Neurontin? Like little things like that I have to do every day. They'll practice electronic dissolution of memory so that at a time like this when I'm making a video, they can pop it in there. Like when I'm trying to think of what I want to say next. Okay, let me stop rambling. Um, I hope that everybody's doing okay. I hope that everybody's making it. We know what kind of world we're going into now. There's a lot of hope. There's a lot of fighting. of the New World Order, but the New World Order is trying to come in, cover up a lot of the things it's doing in every country. I think America is in a lot of trouble, but the new Republican Congress, or Republican-led Congress, is a very, 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 very good thing. They're going to be doing some investigative committees on intelligence, weaponization of intelligence agencies, right? And how they've been doing that. Now they're going to be talking about, I think what they did to Trump, and a lot of things like that. But the weaponization, the actual directed energy weapons, may pop up if you got you got a Republican, Congress. It could possibly come up. I'm very well. Let's not get into. I wanted to tell y'all my psychiatrist on our last appointment, not the one I had yesterday, but the last appointment. He said that this stuff called Lavella, Lavela, Lavella. It's like a lavender. It's lavender in a soft gel. I haven't gotten any yet, but he said that it's like 3 times more effective than general antidepressants, like antidepressants that they would prescribe you. So I wanted to let you guys know about that. I'm going to try it. If you do try it, let me know. Or if you have tried it, put it in the comments, because I'm going to try this Lavella just for, because I have depression and anxiety for being tortured so much, and the continual remote neural manipulation. It's getting better, but like it's like, oh, okay, I've made these huge magnets, and I'm gonna wear these biometrics down, but this is like huge. I mean, like the body area network they put into me, it's a lot, and the money kind of put on me since I was a child is a lot. So I'm making headway, but they're still the face hugger is still on me. But I'm thankful for big change. I'm thankful for big changes that make me feel like, okay, maybe I'm moving forward a little bit now. I've always been moving forward, and God's going to move me forward. I trust in God always, still. Like all this stuff, this is man. This is man's world. This is man's system. This is man's free will. I think it's actually more a food chain, and we've got, on top of the food chain, we've got something we don't know about, and it's thinning our herd, and it's depopulating us, and I think maybe even worse, trying to get rid of all of us. So I think it's a lot. It's the simple bottom line is like food chain, but the more complicated aspect is it is a spiritual battle. There's things we don't understand that are kind of controlling all this evil and this tyranny. Um, kind of forgot what I wanted to say, but I wanted to tell you all about the Lavella. And then I had a good therapy appointment, especially because I'm just feeling calmer. I'm still being targeted, but with the biometric, and they can still get it up. Like I put the magnet on it this morning, then I was kind of putting it on my clavicle and stuff. And within, like, if I don't put the magnet on this spot for like 2 hours, say, they can turn it on again, but it's working differently. So the biometrics are working differently. I'm damaging them. They're working differently, but they can still send signals up the muscles and make the muscles tight, especially up the left side. So when I'm asleep and the magnet's not on, they'll use that time to use a couple of biometrics and go straight to the left side and like kind of strangle me. Um, Stimulate the muscles on my neck and make them tight, but it feels like with all the other stuff they're doing, it feels like they're kind of strangling me. So I'm working with the magnets and stuff and getting that down. But I went to the therapy appointment, guys. It's weird, and I know a lot of targeted individuals. They say we shouldn't go to psychologists, therapists, psychiatrists. Because they're part of the system. The guy that I'm going to, he's definitely not like a gang stalker part of the system. The management of the place knows about this. Like the manager over all of them has like gaslit me before while I'm in there. So I can talk to this guy, and it's kind of weird. It's like I was saying things about V2K, and I was like, ooh, I kind of don't want to go into the V2K because kind of y'all will definitely think it's schizophrenia. And he was saying, and he's like he's trained, he studied and everything, and this is like his final step before he goes into his own psychiatrist business. I wish I knew what that was called, like rounds. It's like a doctor would go to a hospital and do rounds before they go out into their profession. Um, but he's a really nice guy, and I was like, well, I don't even really kind of want to go into the V2K. Like I don't talk about that much with him. I just talk about the pain, the stimulation. I talk about the harassment too, and things like that. But I went into the V2K, and he was very interested in what the guy and the woman said. First off, I was like, oh, well, I don't want to talk about the V2K because y'all are definitely going to think that schizophrenia or whatever. And he's like, no, no, there are many different reasons that you might hear voices. So that was I was like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. So the new DMV and the things they've written in the DMV, since you're getting a lot of targets who are hearing V2K, but they're not presenting a whole lot of other stuff from schizophrenia, or it's just not, the way that they act does not coincide with that. I think the DMV is writing new things to cater to the torture and experimentation. Like it's saying there's more bioorganic reasons for it, like you've been hit in the head or something like this, or organic reasons or different psychological reasons you might hear voices. So they're coming up with new reasons to blame the individual for hearing voices while they're while we're neck deep in these torture programs, right? Every country with these open, secret torture programs that are building up communism in every country with the gang stalking programs, using the target individuals and then doing experimentations or Zetsung targeting, learning how to destroy and isolate a person. I haven't seen any of the magical, great technologies that are coming out because of these brain mappings and targetings. But I've seen a lot of like convenient consumer crap made from our deaths and our torture, you know. But we did this thing. And so he was very interested. Like he was very interested in like, oh, what does the guy say on the V2K? What does the woman say on the V2K? And I was like, well, the guy's like, we got to go ahead and finish this guy off. He's going to be a problem. And they've been pushing harder since the therapist appointment because they're getting worried that they're very worried that I speak out, right? And I'm going to be honest. I've got to be careful with that, and I've got to just do as much as to get through my situation and stuff like that. But I've told y'all that before. Like I've kind of told y'all, that's why I don't do like I would love to do a consistent YouTube channel and a consistent BitChute channel. I would love it so much to keep posting information because I like feeling productive. But like the situation I'm in now, wrestling with my attackers, right? And I'm getting some head. God is great all the time, even if I die. I've through this my life, and I'm not a happy camper. Like I get on these videos and I try and kind of boost up because I know we're all hurting, right? And I don't want to just sit here and be hopeless, but it's very hard. It's like isolated, and I'm kind of starting to realize how big they've made it for me. The psychopath that's on the actual weapons, he's a psychopath, and he knows I didn't do anything wrong. He's made it to where either they put contractors on more of my family. I think maybe my dad was targeted before me, maybe. But like he's built this up on my family. Like right now in the V2K, he's going, I'm tired. I want to finish this. Like he's like, I want to finish this. Like I want to get this off my plate because he's bored, right? So he can do anything. Like I was like driving just to my convenience store, and somebody was doing like street theater of like they had locked their keys in the car, and they were like standing at the counter, like just staring at me. Like they can do these things where places I go, right? Like I just went. There's like two vape shops that I went to. I went to one vape shop, and they started doing like these gang stalking tactics. It was about maybe the eighth visit there. My eighth visit of going there over a long period of time. And the guy, like the kind of vapes that I get, he like set it up for, and I get two kinds. He set it up where there was one left of each one, and I don't think he had done anything to him, but every other one was like filled up. They had just come in, right? But he had one of each of the ones that I like, and he was like, "Oh, I've got one left of each of these." And I was like, "Oh, no thanks." I don't think they had done anything to him, but I just didn't want to take a chance that like they had maybe done something to the vapes or something. Then I started going to another vape store nearby because I was like, "Oh, the guy's like he's like coming out at the same time, like right when I walk in the store. He's doing gang stalking stuff." And then I went to another vape store, and the guy, like maybe after about 5 visits or something, like I'll go in and the guy will like take his phone out and he won't be talking to anybody. Like he'll be faking some kind of conversation. You know how they kind of do that? And I'm like, oh, he's doing game. Because I've been going through this so long, they're murdering the crap out of me. I mean, I'm doing better. Like I'm fighting it, but it's very intense. It's very intense warfare of like microwaves, weapons inside of my body. I'm not sure how much is external because I can get it to where I can get it down when I got my magnets in a good rotation and a long time on all the places where I'm pretty sure there are biometrics. I can get it where I'm not hearing the V2K and not hearing the high pitch sound. They kind of trick me on that a little bit to make me miss certain spots, but getting that down. Um, what was I talking about? Okay, and then I went to the other vape store and they started gang stalking me there. It's just like he had. My point is this psychopath who's like, I want to go ahead and finish this guy off. I've been fighting through 40 years. I'm almost four. I'm going to be 42 in February, and I've been fighting through all those years of my life intensely. 10, I guess 12 years intensely over Zerzet song. And I want to get out of this because I've been fighting so long and I didn't do any crimes. And I'm like, I want to kind of overcome this and get on with my life. And this guy's like, hey, we need to go. We've done all this crime to you since you were a child, involuntarily put biometrics in you, under your parents' nose, behind y'all's backs, and tortured you and put you in these programs, rolled you in these programs where we're experimenting on citizens and just training, retired military that wants to rape some people, right? We were training them. So we put you in that. Now we're bored. We're bored because you're too strong and your body's not giving out, and you're not going crazy. You're not the psyops don't really work on you. That we're messing with your mind. Physically, we're getting you, but it's just not working anymore. We need to go ahead and do away with you because you're going to be a liability. So 40 years of fucking me and my family over. Excuse my French. Now they want to do me. I don't. I think I've got it to where he can't. I think I've got it to where I'm pretty sure he can't kill me in my sleep. But if I just didn't do the magnets for a week, I think he could get everything up and kill me, like cause an aneurysm or something like that, because my body's so tired. For targets who just got targeted, I don't want to scare you because they're doing some things at beginning levels, but my body is just so tired and he's doing some very sophisticated serial killer stuff, like with muscles and stuff near, near important spots and things like that. So it's like he knows anatomy. He's like a serial killer, knows anatomy and plays with my body. He's been, torturing my body for so long and torturing my brain for so long that he knows my body and he knows how to kind of work some of these biometrics, the ones that I'm not on at the time, to try and hurt me. It is going though. And I thank God for that. I just thank God for my life, and I want to, I just want to express my gratitude that I'm alive, that He gave me this life, and I've had beautiful things in my life. It's the worst thing ever. I was just this morning. I'm like, I can't even. Yeah, I can't do anything in this country. Like it's going to be fucked up. Like the state's going to come in and lie to somebody or anything, and I'm just like, I can't do anything. I can't go get a job. I'm going to be working on like, riding God's threads and getting through this, and possibly because we're not talking about it in the country. We're not talking about mind control. We're not talking about the torture. It doesn't seem like that's on their plan because they want all these technologies to come out as convenient things and things that people buy or voluntarily put in themselves. So it doesn't seem like there's going to be a plan to go, hey, we tortured all these people, right? Um, maybe, maybe. I think a lot of target individuals can get, have gotten settlements. Some have gotten settlements in court. Anyway, my bottom line is that, they're dragging ass on the Havana syndrome thing, but like I'm going to try some things in this country, but I'm going to be planning, I'm like trying to weaken the targeting, trying to weaken everything in the targeting, but it's like there's so much. It's like it doesn't matter what I do. This guy can just lie and say whatever and keep it going, even when he's failing. Like I've broken a lot of the biometrics and like got it down to where they're not even affecting me a lot of the time. It just makes me tired that they're connected to me, and he still doesn't stop. I predicted it. I was like telling the V2K like 2 years ago. I was like, I could get these. I could. I didn't even know I had biometrics, but I was like, I can, mess with the external stuff and get it to where I didn't hear y'all for a month, and y'all would still be there just failing, and then just putting money on this failure, right? Because that's what all the countries. That's what the globalists are doing in all the countries, putting money on failure, right? Like FTX, the big scandal, it was like $60 billion. The dude stole 60 billion dollars from this country, funneled it into Ukraine and the Democratic Party, and they're trying to rehabilitate the dude on TV. I didn't do any crimes, and I'm getting I'm getting raped by microwaves. So it's a corrupt, it's communism. It's like Bolshevism that they're bringing in with these new technologies, but it's like a global Bolshevism. Look up the Bolshevik Revolution, and that's the mindset. The mindset's a lot more horrific than the people just on these microwave weapons following orders that people follow to kill people. There is like an inhuman quality to this type of stuff, a cruelty and a hatred for humanity within these things, right? Um, but me and my therapist, he was drawing this little triangle. I don't know if y'all can see it. Can y'all see that? It's like a little triangle, and it makes a lot of sense. You have thoughts that turn into feelings. Thoughts give you feelings, and then these turn into behavior. So you have a thought, and then that gives you a feeling. That feeling makes you have a behavior. And this is what our attackers would use. The therapist was using it in a positive way, right? And I'm kind of thinking about the way we were thinking about the ways like when I wake up, what was the V2K doing? How did I feel? What kind of thoughts did that give me, right? And we wrote down, um, this is unfair. How is this still happening? I have to protect myself. Gotta put the noise canceling hearing aids in and everything. Then the feelings, anger, outrage, determination, but also vulnerability. I hit on that because I never think about. I feel very, very vulnerable and opened up. And without the mind control, without human operators and AI, digging through my brain and being surveilled all the time. And I've had, surveillance role players and, surveillance role players and what else do they call them? Just people that work for the state, coming at me like a lot in my life. And so it's made me feel vulnerable and opened up. Where in a regular society, if it wasn't communistic, if it wasn't satanic, and you didn't bother anybody and you weren't surveilled, your mind wasn't surveilled into, and you didn't have people like fake people coming into your life and stuff like that, you wouldn't feel as vulnerable. You'd be a mystery to people. People wouldn't want to mess with you, right? Because hey, we don't know what that guy's. You're more protected. This you're like opened up, and it's like the lie that they're saying about you is what people think about you, so they just treat you like shit, even though you're not like that. So it makes it like over this decade of like knowing that I was being attacked, knowing about the mind control, knowing about the gang stalking, it's made me feel very open up and vulnerable. With God, he's given me, protection. He ultimate strength, like ultimate strength from God. It's the only reason I'm not crazy and alive. And my parents, right? But God gave me my parents and all the good people who've helped me during this. A lot of stuff, but it all stems from God. So the behaviors of that, I told him that I put toilet paper on my lock. I told him I put toilet paper on my lock because I have break-ins where people cut up my underwear, stretch out my underwear. They had a whole couple of months, with some dude in here putting daddy long leg spiders, like a brown recluse, roaches of different species, and like a lot of them. So somebody was breeding bugs in this place and like putting them in a place. When I started doing the toilet paper on the lock, and I told them this, it just put it on that top lock. Like I get the toilet paper, I roll it up, I'll put that kind of roll thing in the part where you lock it, and then put the toilet paper over that top lock, and then I've got some really clear, strong tape that I just put over that toilet paper really quick, right? So and then I lock it first. Sometimes I'll forget to lock it and do all that, and I'll have to do it over. So you want to lock that first. No bugs in the place after that. No changes in the place because they can't move it. If they rip the tape, it's going to rip that toilet paper open. So after I did that, no problems. But I have to do it every time. It makes me kind of not want to go places. Like I have to do that stupid toilet paper thing, right? And I have to do it every time. And then some of the times when I'm doing it, they'll send gang stalkers like down the stairs right by my place. They haven't done that a lot, but one time they sent one of these. He looks like a 50-year-old man, but I've talked to him before, and he's a gang stalker. He's like a 50-year-old man with like the mind of a 4-year-old. Like when my dog was alive, I brought her out there, and he was standing near the grass, and it said like don't poop or pee on the grass. My dog's like super old. She was super old, and she was sick. She was really a lot sicker than I thought. Like at the end, which really makes me mad, and I failed on that. Like I feel like I failed Pepper, but because of this targeting and being so tired, I feel like I didn't take the responsibility I should have. Like because I didn't know it was so bad. Like, but I don't think it was that long at the end. But like she goes out like and uses the bathroom in front of this dude, like just pees on the grass, and he's like, "Don't you know your dog's not supposed to do that?" And I was like, "Yeah, but she's really old and she's just peeing. I'll try and get her out next time, further. I think maybe it's just because a lot of people are standing around." He's like, "You just shouldn't do that." Like like he just didn't have any kind of brain function that was like logical. He was gang stalking me probably, but he kind of came down one time when I was putting the tape on and the toilet paper, and he kind of gave me this look like, "What the f are you doing?" And I just kind of looked at him and I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" Like everybody around here, if they're like hey, and they try and act like you're a criminal and they know something about you, even though you're a stranger, because that's just their gang stalking. You're the target, right? And I just go, "Hey, what's up?" Because I ain't guilty of shit, you know. And I haven't I keep wanting to go to the HOA and just go, "Look, this is what this is. I got biometrics put into me as a young child. Now they're false flagging me and doing all this crap." But it's just I just don't want to do that. It's so like, what are you talking about? You know what you're going to get from that. What are you talking about? But what I am going to do, what I'm going to be forced to do is just, I think when someone's gang stalking you or something like that, or you can go to your HOA and go, I would just like to give you a verbal legal warning of cease and desist. And if any of this gang stalking keeps going on, I'm going to go and get a lawyer, right? So that's what I think we should do if you're getting gang stalked at your apartment or anywhere, whoever you can go to is like homeowners association, go, or if it's a gang stalker who does it a lot, like my maintenance guy, John, he was the lead, because he's the maintenance man. He has keys to my place, right? So he's a mason, and they got him to help out with all of it, kind of run it, spread the slander about me, tell everybody we need to kind of get me out of here. I haven't gone up to him yet. He's kind of backed off. He's backed off because it's been like 7 years that I've been here. People are figuring out that I haven't done, or maybe they think that I've done something wrong and maybe I paid for it or something like that. I don't know. But I would say to his face, I'd go, I just like to give you a legal verbal warning if you keep gang stalking me. And he could go, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I go, oh, that's fine. You don't have to respond. I'm just giving you a legal verbal warning to cease and desist all criminal activity directed at me, right? I think we need to start doing that. Like, and then people can go, I don't know. And if you're like, well, if you're not doing any gang stalking to me, you should be fine. But I'm just telling you, if you are gang stalking me, I'm giving you a verbal legal warning of cease and desist, right? Right? So I'm gonna start kind of doing this. I'm gonna try and be more assertive. The mind control for so long really played into me not being as assertive as I was at the beginning. They really played on me with that. I'm kind of they're dangerous people, so they're trying to dig into my mind still and get kind of claw back in. But I'm keeping them off. And when I whatever I can't get with these magnets, God's gonna bring me to another solution. So I know that. Um, but we had this little triangle. So like the thoughts, this is unfair. Is how is this still happening? Like I had, got to protect myself in the morning. And I tried to be a little bit kind of not as detailed with him. Right when I'm talking to him in therapy, it's just like I was pretty detailed this time because it was a therapy session, and I really wanted to get something out of it for me. I did get a little. I said talked about the B2K, and he was like interested in the man and the woman. He was like, what does the man say? And I'm like, well, the man says like fatalistic terrorism stuff, like we need to go ahead and finish him off. Like, he's not going to be able to get this with the magnets. Like he's scared that I'm going to get it with the magnets. But and then he was like, what does the woman say? And I'm like, well, the woman says the woman's kind of like, this has gone too far. We need to find a way to just let him go. We need to find a way. Just we can surveil him, let him go. She's like, this is horrific. This is satanic. She even like calls the guy. She's like, you are Satanist or you are evil. She says calls him that he is evil. And he was like, oh well, and this is how he responded to it. It's very interesting. And I like going to talk to him because he doesn't react. Like he doesn't believe me, but he doesn't react. And the way he responds to it is very interesting. And he was like, and a lot, maybe some people who aren't targeted individuals will actually think that he's right, but he's not. It is voice of skull. But he was like, oh well, that's good. So the man's very fatalistic, but that sounds like there's a part of you that's hopeful that you're going to get free, right? So he was seeing it as something in my head that I was doing by myself, right? And he was like, oh, well, that's hopeful. He was seeing it as some kind of thing like that. And I think that's why they do these scripts of like bad guy, bad cop, good cop, devil, angel, things like that, because that's how kind of the human mind works. And that's what psychiatrists would be like, well, that's your own personas talking or whatever. So they do these scripts, very specifically. The ironic thing is, and I know that maybe no one will believe me, there is a woman, I think, on the team. There's like one of them that really does want it stopped. She's disgusted by it. It's not what she was thinking, and like it's going on so long, and she's like, this is an unusual case, like, So I mean, I know that sometimes I don't even believe it. I'm like, I'm being tricked because I've been tricked by so many people. Like I've thought I don't want to go into that. It's embarrassing. A lot of this stuff is really embarrassing, and that's why it's like I've kind of taken a hit on coming in at the beginning, and I thought our Senate and the UN would just crush this. I didn't know they were going to come in full New World Order, like right when we were starting to get Havana Syndrome out, and then this just gets washed in with all the other chaos, and they start actually targeting more people with, I had no clue. I was like, the Senate, so I was like, well, I can talk about this embarrassing stuff, but then it's going to end, and I can just erase my videos, right? Which I'm not going to erase my videos until I'm like completely free because I want them to be insurance up here, and they help other target individuals, right? I got some pragmatic reasons for the way I do things, but the pragmatism, what drives the pragmatism is caring about you guys, like caring about my family, caring about people. One of the great things from God in this, guys, and I think y'all can have this too. I've I think some people maybe go the opposite way. I appreciate people more. And I said this on the last video. I appreciate life more. I see it as more beautiful because I've almost lost it a couple of times. And so, so there's been some beauty from these ashes, beauty from these ashes. Yeah. I'm almost getting to 40 minutes, so I kind of want to wrap it up because I think I want to put this on BitChute. But the behaviors, TP on the lock, took my medications before I went to the therapist. I eat ice a lot. He says for focus. I didn't say for focus. He says, no, I think I did say something about that. It just helps me to focus on something else besides the targeting. Self-reinforcing, self-talk. Yeah, I'm not gonna like. I'll say this a lot to my attackers. I'm like, I'm just not gonna let you. I said this is gonna be the like, because the guy's like this. He tells the woman on the chatterbox. He goes, "This is the last one, right? So this is the last person I'm gonna kill. Then I won't do this anymore." And I'm like, you ain't moving on to another family because I know he's lying about that. I know that's just a psyop. If he finishes me off, then he's going to another Kyle, another Les, my dad, another Joanne, my mom, right? And my aunt and my brother too. Like there's some targeting of like the entire family going on at different levels. My dad really bad. And my dad, because of what I am experiencing with the magnets and what I think's going on here, some of it, my dad who has like cavities galore. Me and my dad have cavities. My mom and my brother have perfect teeth. And me and my dad have cavities. And he had that aneurysm after my 33rd birthday. I think he had that through stimulation, through biometrics in his back teeth or some of his teeth. If that sounds crazy to you and you're a targeted individual, know that that's a main thing. That's a main thing. So when Robert Duncan came into our group and was like, there are people pulling out their teeth because they think they have biometrics, F that, not F Robert Duncan, but that's a main thing. That if you get some kind of biometric in your body, or maybe not, like I don't know everybody's situations, but they put biometrics in teeth. They've been doing that for a long time, maybe not as much. They put biometrics in teeth. And you think about how easy that is when they're doing a root canal or something like that and they're packing little stuff into that tooth. You don't know what they're doing, right? And they could easily get some little thing, like little biometric. It is definite. Like definite. I can't prove it, right? I can't prove it. I'm proving it with the magnets to myself, right? Of where these biometrics are and how it's kind of situated in my body. Now it's multifaceted, right? This isn't the only way, but I'm proving some stuff to myself, which I've got to be careful with. This is like, I know I look like just a small YouTube channel, and that's what I'm telling my attackers. I'm like, I'm just talking to like a couple of hundred people, a couple of hundred other target individuals about like how to just survive and stay inspired and kind of know what's happening to them. But they're freaking out, acting like I'm speaking, like orating at a to thousands of people or something. And this information's all getting out there, right? That's what they're acting like. So the magnet. So then I put on the magnet stuff. So thoughts go to feelings, go to behavior. So I would say this is helpful. It was helpful talking to him, and he's also. I didn't really get to talk about the whole thing because I went off. Maybe I'll make another video, um, a part two. I guess not, but he's just. I just kind of wanted to tell you all about it. He's a nice guy, but it's so weird because he's like thinking I'm mentally ill or whatever. He's really he. The way he conveyed it was no judgment about it and just talking to me and finding out and just positive reinforcement and just medication. So, but I had to work it like that, right? So if y'all understand, like the psychiatrist stuff, they can be dangerous if you don't do it right. If you're going and you're saying it a certain way, it can be dangerous. But number one thing, you're not going to hurt yourself or anybody else, right? Tell them the positive things. You're doing activism about this Havana syndrome, the big things in society. Already have a psychiatrist if you're talking to anybody except your psychiatrist, right? So you don't get put into a mental ward. But we have many defenses against, like, oh, you're mentally ill, we're putting you in a mental ward. That shouldn't happen to you if you're a target individual. You have lots of things like Havana syndrome. If you already have a psychiatrist, you have things you can say where they cannot put you in there because we've got enough things, at least enough things built up in society where people have to take you seriously. When you talk about Havana syndrome, they at least have to look that up. They can't just go, oh, you're a crazy loon. Talk about the pain, stimulation, and stuff like that. stay away from the V2K, right? Stay away from talking about that. I talk about it. I talked about it because it had to do with something else. Um, and I had talked to him before, so I kind of knew how he worked and that he wouldn't really judge it. But so this the triangle of thoughts go into feelings, go into behaviors, right? And we can I'll talk, you can think about it how our attackers do this, like they back engineer this and they try and put specific thoughts, roll thoughts with feelings, right? A thought with an EEG, and they'll keep rolling it in your brain, right? Keep rolling it in your brain, and some good strides on that. I just thank God for miracles. Everything good fighting through this and the strength I've gotten is from God. The chain of creation in the name of Jesus Christ. Our creators created us, something created them, something created them, something all the way up to God. And those are good guys and they love us and they want humanity to evolve and do good. This is a big thing we're going against. It's a big thing that's happening, and they want to disconnect us from what I would call our souls, disconnect most of the species from it. But more people are getting closer to God. More people are getting closer to God in these times. All right, I just want to tell you about that. So, triangle thoughts, feelings, behaviors, y'all might want to try it. It was helpful for me because I'd never done this, like drawing a triangle out. It just kind of got me thinking about that loop, right? That loop we always talk about, that behavioral loop that our attackers try and get us in, right? Negative thought and emotion over and over again. They want you to take actions, or they want to decrease some kind of positive action, right? And that's what they do to me. They're not going to make me do anything negative, but they can decrease positive interactions and positive actions in my life with the negative thoughts, mind control. And for me, they've had to kind of sometimes like encase me in my own body. I'm working on that. Y'all probably know what I'm saying. I'm getting close to like almost like 40 something minutes, and I want to put this on BitChute. I love you guys. I'll try and I'll try and do as much as I can. All right, I love you guys. In the name of Jesus Christ, take care.